All right, y'all, we got the 411 giant in the building. What's going on, Bam Bam, bro?
Hey, what's going on with you, bro, man? Everything all right on my end?
And let us get straight to this, man. How did the name Bam Bam originate?
The when I went to court, first I'm gonna tell you the fictional version of it. When we went to trial, my brother got up and testified that they called me Bam Bam because I shoot sound of a bullet shooting people, and I shot so many people. Now, the reality of how I got the name Bam Bam. My mama was a seamstress, and she used to put a chester to block out the bedroom to the living room, and she would tell my sister to watch me. And the Chester kept moving, and I ended up getting in there because she got needles and pins on the floor. And so she said she figured my sister was pushing the Chester aside because she didn't want to watch me. So one day, when the Chester was moving, she get her belt and she waiting because she ready to whoop my sister because she think my sister is actually pushing it. And then she see me pushing it. She see me pushing and going on, so they started calling me Bam Bam, like the little strong baby.
Wow.
My
So you
my
just stuck with that and ran with it.
well, they stuck with it and ran with it because everybody started calling me that. I actually, my name before then, she started calling me Bam Bam was Deary. Only people who know me all my life know me by that name until now. My sister and most people, elder people that know me, that's what they call me.
All right, at what point did you discover your appreciation for rock and roll and what drew you to that genre of music?
I was breaking in a house. I was breaking in a house in over in a nice area of Highland. And when I was breaking in the house, I heard I heard some singing, and I heard what they were saying, and heard they were saying, and I felt the vibration of the music, and I said, man, I said, boom. So I come back, and I looked all through the station, looking, trying to find it, and I finally put it on. I think it was 98 K Rock, and I put it on there, and the song turned out to be Hotel California. And I heard so many other good songs because I like songs that say stuff. I don't like even with rap right now. If you get on there and you ain't saying nothing but a lot of words, I can't feel it. I need a story. I need a storyline, and that's what and I liked it that with rock and roll because it had a storyline. It had it had power to it. And then I like the vibration of the guitar. So it was like energizing. So but it was Hotel California was the first song.
Aside from rock and roll, what other music did you enjoy growing up? Were you into like Boys the Men, or any other artists from or urban scene at the time?
Nah, I didn't like the dancing type music because I couldn't dance, you know. And as you right now, people tell you bottom boy don't dance, we just rock. You know, we'll stand there and ladies will dance around us and we'll just dip a little bit and we'll rock, but we I don't have no rhythm to dance. I mean, I was with the junior lockers. My little homeboy put me with the junior lockers just because I was protecting them. And all I do is get up there and stand up there, and they be popping and locking and doing everything. I couldn't do nothing but stand up there. So I just I don't the dancing. That's not it's not it's, you know it's for some people, but it's not for me. Legs too short.
Okay, what does BXBZ stand for? Can you explain what it means and how it relates to you and your crew?
Okay, B standing for bottom. X, if you look at it, X mean times. Look at you do your algebra. X mean time. So bottom boy is time. Bottom times the boys. So I mean that's us into them, the bottom into us, and us into the bottom. The Z is a replacement for the X, the S in the plurality.
What are some of your favorite cereals or foods that you enjoyed growing up?
Spinach. I used to eat spinach out the can. I used to get drunk and eat spinach out the can. Uh, Spinach, cereals. Naturally, I like fruity peppers because it had Bam Bam on the label. I couldn't wait to see it in black.
Okay. Can you describe your upbringing? Were you raised in a close knit family, or did you grow up in a single family home?
My daddy got killed when I was 3 years old. So my mama basically raised us by herself. By us living in the bottom, she had so much aspiration for us to do better. So she had 3 jobs to send us to private school. We went to Leeds Private, then I went to Notre Dame. I got kicked out of Notre Dame for whooping the principal with the light stand because he tried to back in the Catholic school they can whoop you. He wanted to hold out his hand, and I told him. My mom told me if a dude hit me, hit him. And I ain't finna take no whooping for that. And he hit me in the hand with the ruler, and I grabbed a little lamp, one of them little flexible lamp, and I hit him, and I got it suspended indefinitely, and that's when I got kicked out of Notre Dame. But when I went to Booker T, they skipped me up a year. I actually would have graduated at 16 in school, but I ended up going to LTI, so I went to LTI. I got my GED at 17L. I came out and went to Votech, got my GED again. So
Who did you look up to the most in your family before going to jail, and what was it about them that impacted you the most?
I looked up to my brother who testified against me for 3 days. My brother he was my idol because he could fight a little bit. He was actually he did 11 years in Angola. He was Louisiana Golden Glove champ, undefeated for 11 years. He's a bad man with that, but he was good at fighting, but he couldn't push it to that other level. And he actually before he went to before he went to jail, he had told my mom, a lady had complained to my mom that that we was always fighting. He told mom that I don't be wanting to fight the people. I be arguing with the people. Somebody called Bam, and Bam come around there, and I have to go and beat the dude up. If I don't, Bam gonna kill him. He said so, and that was his reason for us always fighting. But I looked up to him because I mean he was took until he snitched on me. He was a solid dude.
When you were a child, what did you imagine yourself becoming as an adult? What were your earliest dreams and ambitions? Ambitions.
Well, me, I think I wanted to be. I didn't like the spotlight and everything. I knew I wanted to be a businessman and the owner of my own thing. I always said that once I ever get the opportunity, my mom ain't gonna work for nobody else. So I wanted to work. I wanted to all I thought about was getting my own business. So mom, you sitting there and you just tell folk what to do. That's what I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna even be there. You know what I'm saying? But you gonna be there. I don't want you working for folks and having when people call my mama and tell my mama and I hear my mama like, oh yeah, okay, all right, okay, I'm gonna do that there. It did something to me. I used to get mad at the people and going on, but I was on the show. They used to have this clown show called the Bozo Show, and we was on there, and they put up because I was so small, for my age, and they put us on the camera. My mama, she whooped me for it though, but she said that Bozo said, "Hey, what you want to do when you grow up?" I said, "I want to be a fireman." She said, he said, "Be a fireman." Yeah, I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, 'cause I like to set fires." He said, "No, that ain't the way it worked." But at that time, I had already set by 3 fires. I burned up the I burned up the sewage. I burned up the bakery, and I burned up Easter Bay, a house, a friend of my mama house.
Were you raised in church, or did your family come from any kind of religious background?
My mom was Christian all the way to the end. She come from a country, little country spot in Coachella, but she's very Christian. She went to church every Sunday, drug her to church, and when we could get out of it, I remember one time again, the same baker shop I burned up. Me and Peter Spade, we broke in there, and the police called her while she was at church, and she had to come from church and going on, and but she started whooping me, and the police said, "Ma'am, you can't be hitting him like that." Mom said, "You gonna either take him to jail or I'm gonna tear his ass up." And I was looking at the police like, "Take me to jail, man. I'm trying to
What values did your parents or grandparents instill in you early on?
respect for elders, being fair with people, not letting nobody get the last lick on you, and basically being basically respecting the elders and the children, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. Like I said, because back in them days, if somebody went home and told your mom that you did something, she can whoop you. And then if she go home and tell your mama you did it, she gonna whoop you too. So you take that first whooping and you keep your mouth closed. But yeah, it always in my trial we had like 15 elderly people wanted to come to court as character witness for us at the sentencing phase. Our lawyers went to them and they threatened the people with messing with their checks for 5 years. They would disallow them they benefits for 5 years based on their association with that. And I told my lawyers, do not mess with them. But they were basically saying, them our babies, them boys. We got if Bam Bam is standing on the corner, he drinking, and I walk down the street, and I'm gonna come up there, he gonna set that alcohol down, and he ain't gonna let me see him drink.
Growing up, would you say your family was struggling financially, or were you all fairly stable, or would you describe your household as poor, middle class, or better off?
And we were poor. We were definitely poor.
What you
We
consider poor?
I mean we was poor in the state of that, but in the area. Now this in the area we was at, we was good in the area we was. But the fact that I went to private school, I seen how people eat, but we living like kings. Eating a bacon sandwich and a sausage sandwich, you know what I'm saying? Because the other people is eating light bread. So the people we around, because the bottom was so low income, so the dudes coming around me, they eat mayonnaise sandwich. So I'm eating a bacon sandwich. So I feel like I'm doing all right. But when you take me to a private school, and I'm going to this private school, and these dudes is throwing away half of candy bars and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I'm realizing, see, that contrast showed me it was like an oxymoron. That contrast showed me like, golly, man, you ain't well, I thought I was all right, and what I thought my life was normal. That's when I realized my life wasn't normal, man. Cause I'm going out on the street, I'm out the street at night. I'm hanging with pimps. I'm watching how many cars the girls get into, so I can tell Pimpin' Leon, and he give me a few dollars. And when I get caught with the money in my pocket, I got to lie to mama and let her whoop me for begging. Hard as I work, you out here begging folks. I take the ass whooping for begging because I can't tell them out here running to the cotton club and doing stuff with these dudes. Cause soon as she go to work at Afro Canna, I beat her out the door. Boom. And then,
That's speaking of that. I was like, what kind of work did your parents do while you were growing up?
well, my daddy, according to the record, my daddy was in and out of jail. That's why we 3 years apart. Cause back then, if you kill a black man, you didn't get nothing but about 3 years. That's why we 3 years apart. And according to some of the stories, my daddy killed three mans. But anyway, he ended up eventually getting killed when I was 3 years old by Dartars, and the commissioner, he had him killed. So anyway, long story short, I I felt like hold on, I lost my train. What did he say that again? I don't want
Um,
to go too far on it.
what I asked, like, what kind of work did your parents do
My
growing when you was
daddy,
growing up?
daddy was an auto mechanic, but he was in and out of jail every 3 years. But they always hired him back because he was real good. My mama, like I said, she was a country girl, came from Coshada. She worked as With that mortician, the one who fixed the hair on people when they dead. She learned how to be a seamstress, and then she went and got her bartender's license. So she had 3 jobs. She used to work at Joseph Cleaners as a seamstress. She used to fix mortician, fix people hair and everything, and then she worked at Afro Counter.
Okay. When was the first time you got into trouble, and what happened?
What trouble with the law or just
In
trouble?
trouble, yeah, in trouble. No, just trouble in general.
Probably burning up the house, and I ain't do nothing but get a whooping and got a little scar on my hand. But as far as my altercation with the police, I had got picked up a few times for little minor stuff, but I actually going. I got caught for. I got I got caught. They charged me for car burglary, and I contested it because I actually had not done it. I had broke in the store, and I had went over there and so I was talking to the lady over there at the club, and I was telling her, cause she used to let me come in there and everything, cause I was always selling stuff, and she like, okay, well we got a deal. Bring the liquor. Bring the liquor. She told me what liquor she wanted back, cause I had broke in the store, the mafia people store, and she told me what to bring back. So I'm coming back. So since my brother shot me, and I've been keeping the 22 on me since I was about. He shot me when I was what 13. So I used to keep a gun on me since then. So
Your
anyway,
brother?
yeah, he shot me in the arm, and I ended up shooting him later on.
Wait, why your brother shot you?
I was talking to I was talking to one of my girlfriends on the phone. My brother was like I said, he always good at boxing, but I could grab him and slam him down. But anyway, so he come in, he high, he smoking the weed. So he tell me get off the phone. He need to get on the phone to call Freeman Harris. And me and him wasn't but 3 years apart, so we was always bucked. And so he pulled it out. He pulled out the 25 automatic. Told me, "You better get off that phone, nigga. I got a gun." And so I grabbed the gun, so we got to wrestle him with the gun. So he shot me in the arm, and it went through the arm. And he told Mama he shot me with the gun because if he had let me get it, I would have killed him, but he wouldn't have killed me. And
And then you said later on you shot him. How long? How far later on? What the?
uh, he had got into to some stuff, and then plus he had disrespected some of my people, and I couldn't let that happen, and especially the dudes wanted to. It's, I use it as like a double entendre because he had did something with the mob people was having some problem with some stuff he going on, so I just played that off. But he actually took something from one of my people, and I explained to him that my people, I came back and took it back, and I explained these dudes would die for you, so you should never disrespect them like that. So he challenged me to a fight. He told me I'm the big brother. He got out and he started swinging and going on. So I took my 10 millimeter and I gave it to my son, my dudes, which I call my sons. I gave him a 10 millimeter. So he seen me getting the 10 millimeter to my dude. He started saying, "Yeah, I'm the big brother. I'm the big brother going on." But when I gave the 10 millimeter to my son, I got his 380 because I always told people I had a nickel plated, non luminous 10 millimeter. I said, if I shoot you with this, I got to kill you because I'm going to have to throw away the gun. I said, so you don't want me to shoot you with this gun. So I got the 380. When I got the 380, he turned around, he see me with the 380. He like, man. So I hit him in the leg, then I gave him, I said, now we can fight now. And he took off limping and went and told my sister that I had shot him.
So, how do you think your peers or your friends would describe you back then?
Uh, crazy, crazy doing stuff like coming up. Short man complex. The short man complex was the factor. Getting into it with people. You get into it with people, it shut down the basketball game. If you get into it with somebody and a dude, if I get into it with somebody and dude goes and say, "Come on, man, just got to arguing with Bam Bam. I'm finna come on, let's play basketball." Dude, like, man, we ain't getting on that court with you. Bam gonna be in that bushes shooting over here. He gonna anybody. Anybody on this court with you may get shot. He ain't finna. He ain't, dude, bam, coming back. So I had a habit of getting mad. And I cry when I get mad, and I go get something, and I come back and shoot anything in the way.
What were some of your favorite movies or TV shows growing up?
See, growing up, I like the stuff like I like the whole plain Jane stuff like Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that. I like the stuff that showed me a wholesome life because when I walked outside my door, it was completely different. I mean, I seen 8 people dead before I was at least 8 years, probably 10 years old. I seen dudes get killed in front of me, head get shot off. I seen dudes, and that's what the nightlife in the bottoms because it was a red light district and people come down there and they play the games and it happened and I seen so much of it. So I wanted a world. I wanted to see a world that it wasn't all that going on because when I stepped outside my door, it was always possible.
At 4'11", you're known for your structure. Now, growing up, were you always one of the shortest children around?
Yeah, I don't think nobody else been shorter than me, not at my age. I always have been the shortest, and that's I, I had two things working against me. I was short, and I went to private school, and I'm living in the bottom. I'm living in the worstest time. You know what I'm saying? And my big homie Stanley Bates used to always tell me, he said, "Look, yo, buddy, you tear into him till you can't tear into him no more. Then you grab something and you hit him, and then you find something to stab him with, or you find something to shoot him with. But you got to win by all means necessary."
Do you know what factors influence your height? And do you feel that your structure affected your mindset or the way you approach life?
Well, number one, I can tell you clearly what affected that, and I can tell you with a little vehement, little anger. My grandmother was 4'11". My grandfather was 4'11". My daddy was like 5'2". My mama was like 5 feet. They ain't give me a shot. I ain't have a shot, bro. I ain't had a shot. My brother got to be about 5'4". My sister, I don't even remember my sister, but we both 4'11". And yeah, but as far as it affected me, it it gave me a short man complex. Even though I used to deny it, it had a short. I used to always have to go above and beyond. It's like because if if you ever look at some of those stereotypes in the movies because they based on reality, like Joe Pesci, he always go all the way out because the short person always.
Napoleon.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example. When you like that, you like my co-defendant. He's right me, Big Don. You know Big Don 6'7". Man, quit fighting so much. Man, look here, you 6'7". You walk in the room, people they don't want no parts of you. I'm 4'11". I walk in the room, first thing dude looking at, man, I can try him. And that's so you got to discourage them from that. You got to be so you got to be so outrageous with what you do. You got to keep. I mean, like if you done stab the dude eyeball out, you got to keep on stabbing him, and you got to do something to make people say, man, that dude crazy, man. Leave that little dude alone.
Did any of your peers ever joke about or try to bully you because of your height?
They don't. They ain't never tried to bully me because that could have been. No, they never tried to bully me, but we joke. See, where we come from, we play and joke. We play and joke a lot. If you ever see how me and Don and how me and my co-defendants is and all the, we laugh and joke. But see, the sad part is the reason why we laugh and joke because that was adopted down to us from our parents. See, the reason we laugh and joke because back in them days when the police was in control and coming in the bottom and regulating the bottom and stuff, they would take a grown man who's vicious and they'll get out the car and they'll beat the shit out of him and say, now you want to go to jail or you want to take that ass whooping. So a lot of our people learn to laugh things out when they have no control against it. So we use laughter as a buffer. And so right now we joke real hard. We joke real. We always joke with each other and going on because it's like a buffer.
Nowadays, you come across as cool, calm, and collected. But growing up, did you ever struggle with your temper or controlling your emotions?
Yeah, I definitely I was a pyromania. Well, I didn't go to jail for it, but I shot people out the bushes. Some people knew I did it. Some people didn't. So but I shot some people I probably shouldn't have shot.
So when you were growing up, did you always see yourself as a leader, or were you a follower, or did you develop leadership skills over time?
I never, even to this day, consider myself a leader. And right now, when I tell my people, it was a general, as a general, but I always liked it to either put my people beside me or put them in front of me, because I didn't need those accolades. Those accolades came to me. I never, until I just started calling myself the 411 Giant. I never. People always talked about me. I never really talked about myself. I can come up and do it. I be on the corner buying all the children candy and going on. Then that's the only thing I talked about. But when I went over there and put in some work or done something, I never really. It actually it didn't feel right to me. But I knew I had to do it.
What does the 1100 block of Fanning Street
Fallon Street, yeah.
and the Ledbetter Heights neighborhood mean to you?
That's my home. That's what we accumulated. That's where we hang at the 1100 block of family. That's where my people was. That's where my family was. I mean, we actually didn't live there. We lived on Travis, but down there where we congregate. And once we congregate down there, I mean, everything down there is family. It's I mean, if you hungry, you gonna eat. If somebody go in the store, he want to see you. Hey, who need this? Who need this? Who? If he ain't got the money, we kept in our people like me and my co-defendants. We kept cups in the store. We kept them full of all our change. So sometimes if we break a $20 bill and they didn't take but $6 out of it, it goes in the cup and they start piling up. And so anybody could they could pick could go in there if they didn't have enough to buy something, they automatically said, Bam Bam said, take it out of his cup. Don said, take it out of his cup. And so they always walked out with what they went in for.
Who exactly were the bottom boys, and how many individuals were part of your crew?
And I don't know about us being a crew, but we was a family. But as far as at the time that we got arrested, they arrested 48 of us. But as far as the number of actual dudes who was feeling and living bottom, then we was probably about 300, 2 to 300. Because bottom boys didn't just be from the bottom. It was dudes in other areas came down there and they liked our style. Cause in the bottom it's a red light district. Everything always over there in Queensboro, over in one of the other areas, after 9 o'clock, everything shut down. In the bottom, ain't nothing never shut down. So it's always something going on. So you was always up, and then we was always partying.
Whose idea was it to form the bottom boys?
Yeah, it was a compilation of situations that formed the bottom boy. No person sat down with the intent to say that we're going to form this group. The oppression from the police, the lack of money and economics. So those say, okay, we're gonna stand up against the police. We're gonna stand up, and you ain't finna come down here and whoop our folks no more. If you put your hand on our folks, we finna get you down here. So we start that. So now when we start getting the respect that people like them boys crazy, they ain't going for nothing. So now when we realize, okay, you selling this over here, we can get some of that. And so that's when that led to that. The original reason was protection. Protection on us to not let our people, be going on. And then you had me. I was a freestyler. I basically, I'd go off, and that's why if you hear some of Big Papa's songs, Big Papa said a lot of his songs that I want to be like my legend Bam Bam. I want to go back and get it and bring it to the hood. Cause I go back and I hear a lick and I come out there and bless it. I come back and bless everybody. Take it out, take it out, take it out, take it out. Cause they ain't called me nothing. As my whole lifetime, what they said I was part of a conspiracy for 10 years. Out of my whole lifetime, I've never, ever bought drugs.
How solid was your team, and did you have any unified rules, street laws that everyone agreed to follow?
Yeah, we had number one. We had street. I don't think they were laws. I think they were more like regulations. And because if you break them, you got your choice to break them. It's there for you. You want to break these here? Don't come down here no more. If you break them and come down here, you gonna get shot. And once an incident what they speak about in my trial when I shot the dude in both his legs and put the gun in his mouth and told him to stay out. I'm dying there because he left in the incident. He left. We don't leave each other. That's just you don't do that. You don't leave. We don't leave each other. We either stay there, we die together, or we go to jail together because we gonna get you out. We gonna get you out. I had a bum and two lawyers. You can guarantee you, we gonna get you out. If we had to go take up a collection around every bottom boy.
Out of all the members of the Bottom Boys, how many are alive today, and what is your current relationship with them?
Well, all the ones who done died, and mostly, I'll say this here: all bottom boys that went to trial with me, all us went to jail, all us came back out. I was the last one that came out. Now, while we was in jail, we had some younger ones that we lost to violence, and since I've been out, I done had about five of them that died to old age or normal medical situations. But as far as and then they children, see the children has we got all us. One of my co-defendants got 13 children, another of them got five, another got this and got. So it's a lot of children that they digressed into other things, but they still have their foundation on the bottom. But I don't really get into it with them because I don't talk. They always come to me, Unc, tell me some of the old stories and going on. But some of the things that they moving in, I love them because they my people. But I just don't entertain that.
Was the name Bottom Boy inspired by your location down south? How did the area influence the identity of the crew?
Well, the the if you look it up, the that area that radius, I think it's about 9 or 10 block areas. It was an experiment. It was an experiment called the St. Paul's Bottom Experiment. It was an experiment that put let allow all the drugs and violence go on down here to keep it from contaminating the rest of Shreveport. And this experiment was only done in two places in Louisiana. You know where it was done at? It was done in Shreveport under the name of St. Paul Bottom Experiment. It was done in New Orleans under Storyville. Look up Storyville in New Orleans.
What crime, whether it was stealing, fighting, involvement with gun, or something else, led you to receiving a juvenile life sentence?
They, I didn't. They said I broke in a car. I went to. I got juvenile. That was my first time ever been there. Dudes was coming there 2 and 3 times and getting 18 months. I got juvenile life because I took them to trial because I actually didn't break in the car. I was over here trying to sell Miss what's her name? I don't call her name, but she did, Miss Eula May. I was trying to sell Miss Eula May at the Emily Club this alcohol. Me and her got an agreement. So now I'm walking back. and the dude is breaking in the cars. But the police them follow me all the way from the railroad tracks. They just slow trailing me. So I figure they see me that I'm finna go in the bottom and get drunk. So they see me, they done seen me. So I figure like they know I ain't breaking in nothing because I'm walking, but I always kept a 22 on me after me and my brother. So when I'm walking, a dude was breaking in the car. He said, "Bam, bam." What they doing? I said, "Man, they just coming down the street, man. Just stay where you at, you good." He jump up and take off running. Now he jump up and take off running. I got to take off running because I got the gun on me. So I take off running, throw the gun under the house, and then I come back up on Sprague Street. I'm walking, ain't nothing. So they pull me up. The dude who was running was actually younger than me. But because I was so small, they was like, who was the grown man that you was with? I said, well, no, I wasn't with nobody. They said, who's the grown man you with? And they kept on and they refused. Yeah, and it's it's true. And they refused to do that. So they took me to juvenile. Mama come got me and everything. And I end up because I know my fingerprint wasn't gonna be on none of no tools. It wasn't gonna be on no thing. Wasn't gonna be on nothing. I went to trial and they gave me juvenile life. Judge Gorman E. Taylor.
What what impact did your time in juvenile life have on you personally, and how did it affect your family members?
I don't. My mama, my brother had did 6 months there. So my mama wasn't. She don't she kind of on the outside of a lot of stuff like that. So she just got on me. Yeah, you. I told her I didn't do it. Yeah, you being bad. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, just like your dad and all this him. But the impact that it had on me socially and in the world, because I go to Monroe with juvenile life. I hear LTI Monroe. I'm a mad dude. I'm mad because I'm innocent. So when I get there, I I'm looking for examples to make. And back that time, New Orleans, that's what I'm saying, New Orleans and Shreveport, they was the two biggest cities, and we didn't get along. So I goes in there, and I see my coach, I see my not my coach, I see my homeboys who were down there was at that time was I wasn't proud of. And so when I got there, for a whole month, I had them stealing screwdrivers from the mechanic shop and sharpening them, and we was hiding them up in the vent. So I'm sitting there, man. Look at Andy Dixon from New Orleans. He a twin. Him, he down there. Stephen Hyde came later. Stephen Hyde one had snuck the gun in Red City, so they blockhead. I was down there blockhead a couple of months. So I'm coming down. I'm down there. Man, them folk gave me. I come up there to get my clothes. They pass out the clothes. Them folk gave me pants that were too short for me. They come down the hill. Yeah, and they getting us all these regular clothes because they keeping the press clothes, give them to their homeboy.
The
Now,
New Orleans guys?
yeah, so my homeboys evidently these dudes that was in this unit because I was in Elk Cottage, because it was the biggest cottage on there. It had 79 people, but it had like maybe 50 white boys in that. But my homeboys who was in there, they was going for it. So now we go on. So it took me about a month, and I sit there and Andy Dixon about a month. We got there, and that month when that time was up, and I don't call their name. I told them they going on. I said, look here, man, this shit here stop right now. So, cause my homeboys in the other unit, they was like, man, why they ain't put you over here in C unit with us, a big boy unit? But because of my height, they put me in it's like the middle little boy unit. So it's next to the little boy unit, Epcot. Anybody tell you? So I sit there and then I stepped over them. They had tables blocking you, and then they be buying there handing out your clothes. So I step over the table. So I go over there and get the good clothes they had over there. I'm looking at the size of them. I tell all my homeboy pass on through. I'm passing to him. So that when Andy Dixon told me like, oh yeah, we gonna deal with it. We gonna take fire later on. I said, man, we doing all. I come out with a screwdriver and start hitting him. I said, we doing all the taking right now. So after I got the hitting him going on, so they put me in ESTU. I come out of ESTU, but Dr. Threshner had said that he had I used to have to see the psychiatrist because they had me for they said I killed my oldest brother, and so they had me going seeing the psychiatrist, but they had my paperwork mixed up with somebody else. Yeah, and they shoot it crazy son.
Did you
Yeah.
get your pills?
Huh? Yeah, they had me. They
And would you take the pills?
oh no, I wasn't
Would you
taking
spit
it.
them out?
I took. They gave me the can. The candy what got me. When I wouldn't take the pill, them songs I went there. Them songs gave me some candy, and I was crying like a baby. They told me you miss your dad. Yeah, I miss my dad. My dad dead. That's it. And they said, how you feel about your brother? What the hell me how I feel about him? Yeah, we get in the fights and all that, but I didn't know they was talking about that. I thought they talking about how I feel that me and him fight all the time. So yeah, I didn't know y'all talking about but they had to look in the paperwork and yeah, they had mixed me up with somebody else. But what I did was when I got down there, once I got control and had established myself, then I went. That's what it just came in at. I took a country boy table. You got the New Orleans had the table. You got New Orleans shower, Streetport shower. Country boys in the middle. They got the New Orleans boys got table. Streetport dudes got table, and country boys got some table. I took one of the country boys table, and I set my radio up there, and I put that rock and roll music on. The white boys come by like, hey, who that is you listen to? I said, well, that Bon Jovi, son, man, come blah blah. Man, you really know who that? Yeah, son. Golly, look, this guy, he noticed him. Then I set him down there. Can we sit down with you? I said, yeah, sit down. I said, now why y'all ain't getting no packages in? They said, oh, the New Orleans boys ain't gonna do nothing but just take it. They gonna take it all. Don't do us no good to get nothing. I said, well, how about I tell you what, every carton you get in, you keep 6, I keep 4. There ain't no mess with it. Yeah. I see them Paris stuff and going on. Man, look at them. They go tell a friend. They go, man, look here. Johnny Cable, my little homeboy, tell you, I had 6 lockers full of cigarettes, full of anything they bragging in there. And they be like, man, I said, hey, y'all do, you do. So, it got to be so many. It got to be so many that dudes you come in, man, let me look out for one, man. Let me look out for one. I said, you talk to him, and if he agreed to let you look out for him going on, your New Orleans homeboys, or Vamp, all them, they come to me, they go, I said, man, if you mess over them, I'm telling you, we gonna have some problem. I'm telling you, look out for them, make sure don't nobody mess over. And that I never smoked in my life. All my homeboys will tell you, anybody who down there with me, tell you, every morning, when we line up for go to work or school, every last one of my homeboys, I give them 5 cigarettes. I give them 5 cigarettes and go, never smoked in my life.
So while doing time in juvenile, did any like mentors or community leaders, outreach group visit you all to support to help you all?
Nah, they only had the church people used to come down there and I think once a month, and then if your birthday was in that month, they give you $1. And then what you do, you collect all the dollars and give it to, cause I had a dude bring me weed, and I had a dude bring me he wouldn't bring me no gin, but he bring me peppermint snap.
So now, in a few of your interviews, you referred to terms like USPs, PSIs. For those unfamiliar with prison terminology, can you explain what those acronyms stand for and what they
Uh,
represent in that environment?
USP stands for United States Penitentiary. In the federal system, it starts at camps. Camps is where the rich folk go and ain't gonna do nothing but sit around and be at a country club. When you leave to come from the camp, you got FCIs. You got FCI medium, you got FCI low, then you got a high FCI. FCI, the security is less stricter. I mean, it's less stricter. So you got an influx, but a dude may be in the FCI with 5 years, maybe here with 15 years. If he moved down, he may get down there. But it's basically a dude who not violent, trying to work on his case, but you still have trouble when they got the wrong dude in the FCI. It's gonna be some stuff. But most dudes in the FCI is trying to get the hell out of there, and they ain't got all day. But now when you get to a USP, the average person in there got life sentence or no less than 35, which is considered a life sentence. So all them dudes, some got 2 life sentences. They done killed the celly already. Because to go to ADX where I went, you pretty much got to kill 2 cellies, or you just got to be a bad actor, influencer, like they said I was. But the level is the people that you're gonna be around. See, when you in the US, you in the FCI, you got dudes who got something to live for. They got something to look forward to. They usually got a date. You know, you got some never life, but most of them usually got a date. And the ones who got life, they couldn't really, they can't prove. I ain't gonna say can't prove. They looking at their demeanor. Now all that done changed now, but anyway, that's another story. So that's the difference. United States Penitentiary, it's different. Penitentiary is when you hear them say a penitentiary is a 6, that means they got 6 gun towers. You hear them say it's a 7, they got 7 gun towers. USP Florence was that's the first one I went to. It was the first one made for long time lockdown. It had a 7.5 gun tower until I made it to Superman.
When you first went to prison, did you have any idea what the experience would be like? And looking back, were you truly aware of the consequences of going to jail at that time?
On which time?
The federal.
Oh, when I went to the federal, that was a unique thing. With my reputation on the streets and with my prowess in the reform school, I was always known. I was always known when I went somewhere. So when I go in the wide world, the whole wide world of the federal system, I wasn't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I They had 8 dudes down there from Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? None of them, you know what I'm saying? None of us knew each other going on. So I get down there. This the first time I ever had been on a compound was I wasn't already known. Wasn't nobody already talking about me. Every other compound in my life I done went to, people done like when I went to reform school, my homeboys off the street, they were telling everybody, oh man, that little dude there, oh man, he go, man, that Bam Bam go hard, that big homie. And so everywhere from penitentiary on, they was already told that. But when I went to the feds, ain't nobody, ain't no man. We watch your case, we hear you, but all us killers too. So you ain't no special than us. That's the way they looking at me. So now I'm looking for something to separate me from the group. So that's when I'm sitting there, and that's when my first thing was. But they had been watching my case real closely because they was hoping for us to win. But my first incident was when me and the dude Tex, he had changed the channel on the TV when I was watching rock and roll. He thought a white boy had put it on there. So I took over the TV room, locked everybody up in there with my knife, and said, whoever disrespect me like that, gonna do it in person. I said, so we can go and do this dance and be through with this here and understand that you ain't gonna disrespect me. You gonna get to kill me, but you ain't gonna disrespect me. And that's when the dude boss from California got up and said, no, man, when no, man, people know, man, dude can see who he is, man. It was a mistake, man. We thought a white boy had come change that channel. And so by the time they done resolved this with me, that's when Meatball run. I hear Meatball come. Man, where he at? Lay down. Don't nobody move. I said, lay down, then, nigga. So he done took the other TV room hostage. So where you at? I need to lay eyes on you, homie. Where you at? I said, man, I'm here. What's going on? They told me, yo, bag out. I need to see you. I said, man, bag out. I need to lay eyes on you. So I bag out the TV room, let him see me. What's going on, homie? I said, man, it was a misunderstanding, dude, going on. He like, well, what you want to do? I said, well, I got you into it, man. So I know you try and do what you want to do. He said, you want to just slaughter all of them? What you want? I said, it's up to you, man. I got you into it. I said, I'm cool with it, man. It was a mistake. They wasn't trying to do it. All right, homie, you sure? And he was going on. That when I said, boy, I fuck with Meatball. We got tight like that. I was a little skeptical about him at first, but that's all going there, man. He was there for me. That's why I was there for him. But yeah, it's didn't nobody know me. So then dudes like the old head, I had got to the point when I get mad, I cry. I had got to the point where I had a couple other incidents when I went stab the dude up for he come in the TV room and they were watching Cops. But the dude wanted to see a show called he's from California, uh he's from like Riverside, California, or something. Anyway, he had been shot with a shotgun. He muscled up, but he come in there, name was Mike. He come in there like, man, we the big date on, blah blah. So I'm in the TV room for strictly one perk. My back is against the wall and I'm drinking wine, and we can stay up to 12 o'clock like that. So I'm in there drinking my wine, and he said that, and so now, oh y'all gonna watch this old police ass shit? Oh man, so he walked out. He walked out. So I'm looking at his homeboy, hoping they gonna tell him something, and and they didn't tell him nothing.